Good evening, otherworldlies. This is Juliana Angel, your dark masked diva. I'm also your Sacramento siren, so I'm looking like a mermaid tonight. Alright, looking the part. So, otherworldlies, before I was talking about rejecting that strong, independent woman trope. So I'm going to expound upon that a little bit with some tips, alright, on how to resist being seen as a resource. Alright, and you're like, what do you mean being seen as a resource? Alright, so in being the strong, independent woman. Alright, so when we're rejecting the strong, independent woman trope, we also need to reject being seen as a resource. Okay, so here are some things we can do to reject being seen as a resource, alright? We can look at our image, and you're thinking, okay, Dark Masked Diva, you're doing too much. You've got these wigs on, you've got these extensions on, you know, you like dressing up as mermaids, you like dressing up as elves, you like doing all these things, you know, you got your cosplay going and all this kind of stuff. Okay, well, I'm not talking about me, alright, you know, I do YouTube stuff. We're talking about thinking about your image as an everyday person. Alright, you're going to want to figure out what you are portraying, alright? If you do not know what you're coming off as, you want to make sure that you are not welcoming certain things. You want to make sure that you are not inviting certain things, okay? So you know that as a woman, everybody who approaches you is going to want something. Alright, and this is every human being, alright? Every person who's being approached, everybody who approaches you wants something, alright? So that doesn't matter whether you're a man, woman, or child. Everybody who approaches you wants something. So this isn't just about being a woman, this is about being, you know, anybody. Alright, but as we become older women, everybody who approaches us wants something, okay? So you have to figure out what people want when they approach you. Now, if you're an older woman, when people approach you, they generally want advice, all right? And as an older woman, when they approach you, they generally want you to cook for them, okay? They want advice. They want you to cook for them. They see you as auntie. They see you as mom. They see you as grandma. Okay, and they generally are going to probably ask you to stay. They're going to ask you to do laundry. Okay, they're going to want you to listen to their problems. Okay, and they're going to do things like ask you for money. They're going to ask you for food. They're going to see you as some type of resource. Now, we know as younger ladies, every time we're approached, what do people want from us? Think about that for a minute. Okay, now if you're a hot older lady, what happens? You're getting approached by younger guys all the time, being like, I like older women, right? And you're getting all these young dudes who have all these MILF fantasies and stuff like that. So you're getting approached by all these horny young dudes who are trying to get in your pants, right? So you have that going on if you're a hot older woman. Okay, but if you're a typical older woman, you kind of have that, you know, cozy type of auntie look, and you're getting a lot of people wanting you to listen to their problems, you know, wondering, you know, if they can come over and eat, and if, you know, they can do their laundry at your house, and if they can stay, and if you're renting a room, and that kind of thing, and they kind of see you as Earth Mother, and that kind of thing. So people basically have an agenda with everybody, okay? So here's the thing. You have to kind of look in the mirror objectively and ask yourself, what do I look like? Okay, so every woman has to do this, whether you're a young lady or an older lady or whatever kind of lady you are. You have to figure out, okay, what do I look like objectively? Like, I know with me, all day I'm giving advice on the internet. Okay, so I'm basically giving advice to people of all ages. And a lot of the people I'm giving advice to is kids, right? So they don't know what I look like or anything like that, and I do that on purpose, so they don't know how old I am or who I am or anything like that. They don't know that I'm the same person who's on this show, right? They just know that they can come and ask me questions about their sexuality or their marriage or whatever. I mean, so it's teenagers, it's older people, it's anybody, right? So they don't really even know who I am. They just know I'm an okay person to talk to. Okay, so I do that on purpose. They don't know my age. Okay, so people just know they can ask me questions. All right, so I know as an older person that people will probably come up and assume that I have money. Okay, they assume that I have a house. Okay, they probably assume that I, want to serve them food. They assume a whole lot of things because I'm a lady of a certain age. They assume that I probably have a lot of advice to give. And the truth is I do have a lot of advice to give, but do I want to give it to them? No. Because if I do, they're wasting my time and they're not going to come to my channel. They're not going to read any books that I write and try to sell. They're not going to read my blog. They're not going to do things that are going to bring me in money. They're just going to waste my time, and they're not going to, add to my income. They're just going to set me back, right? They're just going to take advantage. Right? So there are certain situations where they're going to assume that they can just come and take from me. So people will do that, though. If you're an older lady, they think of you as a resource and they want to come take from you. Okay, but when you're a younger lady, they assume that you're a sexual resource and they want to come take from you. All right, but when you're an older lady, they assume you're a resource of another kind and they want to come take from you. So that's where, when you're an older lady, you have to get out of that strong, independent mindset, and you have to come up with deflective tactics. Okay, so here's something that I've come up with. When you see people coming, you have to kind of read them and figure out what they want. Okay, so when people come up to you, you have to drop your ego. Okay, because an ego is something very masculine. All right, and we've been brainwashed by society to pretend that everything's great, that we're making a whole lot of money, and that we have all this energy because we were raised to be told that we women can do everything, that we're supposed to have all this energy, that we're supposed to have more energy than a man, that we're supposed to work 40 hours a week and raise our kids and be the perfect wife and run our house and do all these amazing things and run circles around everybody and do all these things for our community and, and pretty much, hold the whole world up. Okay, so, and if we couldn't do it, we need to pretend we're doing it. Okay, that's what we're being told by society, that we're supposed to be able to do that, and if we're not, we're failures. So we need to pretend that we're doing that, right? Okay, we need to completely drop that. Okay, that's a facade and that's pretend. Okay, we need to drop that. So when people come up, we need to make sure that to let people know that we're not doing that, right? So when people come up, you have to assume that they're going to come up. They're going to try to ask us to do something. They're going to ask us to donate something, like our time. They're going to ask us to donate money. They're going to ask us to do something for free that they should be paying us to do. okay? Because people try to get me to do things for free that they should be paying me to do. Like somebody was pretty much trying to get me to do a TED Talk type thing for free. Okay, when they know they should be paying me to do that, when they know I need the money. They were trying to get me to do a TED Talk for free after I was telling them how down and out I was and how much I needed money and everything. They were trying to get me to volunteer to do something. Okay, I have public speaking skills better than anyone there, and they were trying to get me to volunteer to do something while they were paying everyone else to do things when I was better at it. But they were trying to get me to volunteer. And I was like, well, how much are you going to give me to do that? And they went, oh, well, we were hoping you were going to volunteer. And I go, you were hoping I was going to volunteer? I go, I'm an amazing public speaker. You wanted me to volunteer to do that? Are you serious? I just kind of looked at him like, wow, really? Do you know how much experience I have? I just kind of looked at him like, you've got to be out of your mind. Like, I can't believe you're actually going to ask me to volunteer to do that. You know, I just kind of looked at them like, are you serious? You know, like, but some people would just decide that they just needed to volunteer to do that. I just kind of looked at him like, wow, really? You know, and I said, well, I'll be willing to do it if you can pay me, because I could really use the money. And, you know, I'll do an excellent job, you know. And yeah, I can do this, this, and this, and I'm an expert on this, this, and this. And I said, you know, I'm an accomplished public speaker. So if you need me to do that and you're willing to pay me fairly, I'll be willing to do it. And they just kind of looked around like, oh shoot, we're just kind of hoping to get her to volunteer to do it, but darn it, she knows her worth. Darn it. Oh, wow. You know, so they were just kind of taken aback that I was actually, you know, actually had some self-esteem. Wow. You know, they were trying to just kind of trick me into doing something for free that they should be paying me for. So, you know, and this was me telling them that I needed some help with something, and they knew I was down and out, and then they tried to trick me into doing something for free. I was like, wow, guys, you know. So people will try to shadily do stuff like that. So, yeah. So you have to figure that people will actually try to do that to you. People are like that. You know, and I was actually asking them for some help. And then they were trying to like trick me into doing something. That's just like completely insane. So yeah. So you have to see people coming up to you. They'll come up to you in the grocery store, and they'll be like, you know, like, "Hi, Juliana, how are you?" and everything like that. And they'll look at you that you're dressed decently or whatever, and they'll ask you questions. Okay, so I'm a mature woman and everything like that, so they're going to assume that I have money, bro. You know, and so they're going to ask me to volunteer my time. All right. Because I'm a housewife, so they assume that I just want that I have all this time on my hands and I must be so bored, like I can't find something to do. Like, you know, I must be so bored. I don't enjoy doing what I'm doing here, so I must have all this time on my hands, and I want to spend it serving them. You know, so they'll just ask what's going on. Oh, you know, I'm you know, at home now, and blah 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 blah. So they'll ask me, you know, so I can tell they're going to ask me to do something, and I'm like, gosh, have you guys just felt so tired lately? It must be the time change. This is when you bring something like that up. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because they changed my heart medication, or I don't know what it is, or gosh, maybe it's just because I'm getting older and I just feel so gosh darn tired. Do you guys feel it? Is it the weather change, or I mean, is it just is it global warming? I just feel so tired lately. Do you guys feel it too? I'm just like, gosh, so tired. Maybe I should talk to my doctor. Just bring it up and just be like, it's mind-blowing. I hope it doesn't show on my face, but it's a little embarrassing how tired I am, and are you guys as tired as I am? And you just say something like that, because you know they're going to ask you to do something. Okay? So, yeah. All right. So, just bring something like that up. All right. People will think that you're a resource because you're an older woman. They think for some reason that you're some kind of sugar mama. All right. I think you guys know that I'm older than my partner. I'm not his sugar mama. All right. I just happen to be older than him, but it's not that kind of relationship. Believe me. We have more of a traditional relationship. I'm not a sugar mama. I would never be anybody's sugar mama. That's just not how I do things. And honestly, I could never afford to be anybody's sugar mama. And even if I could, I would not be one. That's not my comfort level of anything. I just couldn't do something like that. So people ask him stupid questions like if I have a car and stuff like that. No, I do not have a car that he drives while I'm at work to talk to younger women and stuff like that. Okay. You know, that kind of thing. So get that out of your mind. And I've had people ask if I drive and if I have a car and all this stuff. No and no. I don't drive and I don't have a car. Okay. No and no. So I haven't had a car for about 10 years. Okay. So I walk everywhere. So I'm a heart patient, so I walk everywhere. And that's what's helping me lose weight. Okay. If I need a car, like I call a Lyft or an Uber or something like that. So we don't have a car. It actually saves us a lot of money. And I haven't had a license in a long time. So this is like not one of those situations. But people think I have a car and they try to see if I will give them a ride. No. I don't know. They think because I'm an older lady, I must have some like really nice car and they're trying to ask me for rides and stuff. It's not that kind of thing. I have a point to make, and it's a very delicate point. Okay. If you, speaking of weight loss, if you are a person of a certain size, okay, if you are overweight, people are going to see you as a resource. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because you're carrying extra weight. People see that as resource, okay? They think you can afford extra food. And you're like, that's so stupid. Some people just carry extra weight. But people subconsciously see that as you being able to afford extra food. And they see you as a resource. They're like, this person can afford extra food and they have the leisure time to sit and eat and not work off that extra weight. They see you, and when you're a bigger person, they see you also as older, and they see you as matronly, they see you as maternal, they see you as grandma, because you're bigger, okay? And I mean, I'm not trying to say that in a rude sort of way, but people see that as you having resource. Okay, so if you are a larger person, people are going to ask you for food. They're going to ask you for money. Okay, so that is... Hi, sweet horse. So that is another way, another thing people are going to subconsciously think that you are a resource. So that is something to keep in mind. you may want to lose weight for that reason. Okay, you want to lose weight for your health. The older you get, the more weight you're going to want to lose. Okay, but that is one reason people may be asking you for things, because that is part of your appearance. All right, so people will come up and ask you for advice, ask you for food, ask you for a place to stay, nickname you mom, and stuff like that. Here's another thing you can do. I'm really lucky that I have a very youthful demeanor. All right. But a lot of the reason I do that is so people won't ask me for things. If I come off like I'm younger, that's less of a reason people will ask me for things. And that is part of my personality. That is part of who I am. But I also do it so people will not think I'm a resource. Okay, because I do not like people asking me for things, and I don't want to have to be rude to people about it. But if people come up and act like they're going to ask you for something, start using more slang from groups of people who are younger than you. Okay, groups of people, like Gen Zs, millennials, people like that. Use slang from younger groups of people. Act a little bit younger than you are, okay? Do not use old phrases from people your age. Do not, just act a little bit younger. Just, okay? Unless you look totally stupid doing it. But just act a little young, okay? Just make, have a younger affect. All right, have a younger appearance. Dress a little younger, act a little younger, okay? If there's something you can do to come off a little younger and a little hipper, do it, because people are going to see you as less of a resource if you come off a little younger, okay? And if somebody asks you for something, just be like, bruh, why would you think I have that? Like, I don't have it like that. And just kind of laugh at him. And then they're just going to be like, oh. And just be like, don't call me mom. I'm not old. Like, where's that come from? Just say stuff like that and just kind of fake them out a little bit. I mean, if you think you can get away with it. So, if you think you can get away with it, coming off like you're younger, do it. Okay? Because I faked people out a lot, making them think I was younger. They leave me alone. Absolutely leave me alone. So I lie about my age all the time, and when I can get away with it, I do. And people don't even ask. So if you can do that, act younger. All right. Anything else? If people ask you for something, just be like, why would you think I'd have it? Just kind of look at them and just look at people like they're crazy if they ask you for something. Just be like, I don't have that. Like, why are you asking me? Just kind of look at them like they are insane. Okay? That's like something you can do, and treat people like they're crazy for asking you for things. Shame them for it. Just act like they're nuts. Okay? That's another thing you can do, just so they feel weird about it. Don't be nice about it. You know what I mean? Just kind of treat them like they're out of pocket. Okay? So those are some tips, and I love you all, and I will be back, and you guys have a beautiful evening. Bye-bye, Otherworldies.